Back here, WHIP Radio in Philadelphia. It's been a good time to be a UConn Husky as both the men's and women's basketball teams have won national championships this week. Now let's go out to the hotline and welcome in one of the best college basketball analysts in the country, and that's Dick Vitale from ESPN. Dickie V, welcome back to the program. How are you?
Well, Zach, really not doing as well as I like to because someone I was very, very close to the family and got to know well. Just passed today, an 8-year-old girl by the name of Lacey Holsworth. People might have gotten familiar with Lacey. She became so attached to the Michigan State team, and she's battling a very rare fake form of cancer and just lost her life. I talked to her dad this morning, Tom Izzo, as well, and my heart just breaks for the family.
I agree with you. It's such a somber day, and you see the V Foundation. You do great work with them. I have a friend actually right now that's battling through cancer. My grandmother has battled through cancer. So just real quickly here at the top, tell me a little bit more about the V Foundation and the great work you guys do.
Well, Zach, what we're going to do with my gala this year is I was telling Tom Izzo, and I also told the people, the parents of Lacey, that I hope to have a $250,000 grant in the name of Lacey that we're going to give at my gala to help other kids. We can't save her life, but we want to be able to save other kids' lives. So I'm really just blown away. No child should be doing chemo radiation. Anybody wants to help me in raising dollars, you can also make a donation on behalf of Lacey or also another youngster who just lost his life this year. Beautiful kid, Eddie Livingston. His picture's right in the front of my website. Go to dickvitaleonline.com. dickvitaleonline.com, and you can make a donation.
And you have a beautiful gala each and every year, and you do some great work as we're spending a few minutes with Dick Vitale, who's taking a few minutes out of his day to talk to us. And let's get to some of the college basketball on both the men's and women's front for UConn. It's been sensational. It all started with Gino and Jim, and now Jim has been replaced by Kevin Ollie. It's something really special that's going on, though, in Connecticut right now with the 2 national championship runs.
Well, absolutely very special. What they've done is very unique. To be able to win national titles in both sports, and both men's and women's, is so unique that it's only happened one other time, 2004 in Division I. So the situation is amazing. What they've done is absolutely great.
Jim Calhoun did a really good job for many years at UConn, and they were always dominant, winning national championships, and he gets replaced by Kevin Ollie, and he continues that tradition. And this was a UConn team that was inconsistent at times this year, but what did Kevin Ollie do to get the most out of his team? Because they went on some run entering the tournament as a 7 seed.
I'll tell you, amazing. I couldn't believe it, to be honest with you. What he's done is so special and so unique. To be able to go out and win, you know, they got blown away, for example, Zach, on March 8th, they were beaten 81-48 by 33 by Louisville. Got beat by Louisville 3 times. No way in the world you could have projected this team to win a national title. They found a way to beat St. Joseph's. They found a way to beat Villanova, and then beat a good Iowa State team, shocked us beating Michigan State, and then came back, then beat number 1 Florida, and then finished it off with Kentucky. An amazing run. Guard play was dominant. Shabazz Napier, and certainly the play of Ryan Boatwright was great. And you can't forget inside DeAndre Daniels and his versatility. That was special as well.
You're especially right with the guard play. Napier went on a real special run. Boatwright was gutsy in that tournament game after rolling his ankle. And the run that Napier went on was very reminiscent of Kemba Walker. Do you see any comparisons between those 2 players, Kemba and Shabazz Napier?
You know, to a certain degree, Kemba was a little bit more athletic. But you look at Shabazz, great understanding. What impressed me with him, and I did the championship and the semifinals on ESPN International, so I had great seats right up front. And you could see his unbelievable ability to change speeds and also his shot selection. He was really very cerebral as a player. He very rarely took a bad shot. In fact, in the Florida game, he only took 6 shots because they played him so heavy. They doubled him up, got the ball out of his hands, but he was finding, as a facilitator or a distributor, the right people. He was setting up Daniels, who had a big day. And that really impressed me, because a lot of times kids get on a big stage, they got a big name, they get a lot of write-ups, they force the action if it's not there. He did not do that.
A few more minutes here with Dick Vitale from ESPN, one of the best college basketball analysts in the country. UConn, it's the first year of the American Athletic Conference. We've seen Temple compete in that conference this year, although they did have a down year. But on the football front, they got to a BCS bowl game with UCF. And then on the basketball front, they win a national championship with UConn. What does this win on Monday night do for the American Athletic Conference?
Well, it certainly can help. Mike Oresco, the commissioner, came over. I spoke to him a little bit before the game, and he was certainly ecstatic. And off with the championship, he's got to be on cloud nine. I think the question is, what are they thinking in the ACC and the Big Ten in passing on UConn? And they went the route of Rutgers. Now, Rutgers obviously a very good school, but Connecticut, when you look at their fan following when they played at Madison Square Garden, the place was rocking big time. And it was unbelievable, the fan following that they had. So I think right now they're sitting on top of the world. To be able to be a national champ in both areas is so special.
Let's get to Kentucky. They struggled immensely from the free throw line the other night. I was also in awe of the way they were out-rebounded by the UConn Huskies. But with all that being said, Calipari's squad was able to cut the deficit to 1 point many times throughout that ball game. Why were they not able to get over the hump, though?
Well, his name was Shabazz Napier, scoring a 48-47, hit a big three, followed it, set up another three by Gafai, and they were on their way. Every time, Zach, and you're right about that, every time they made a run, Napier had an answer. And I just tell you, that team was so mentally tough. But when you have guards that are efficient, not only offensively, but are efficient defensively, they were very disruptive. What they did defensively was so special. They absolutely dominated guards. I mean, they really put the hurt on big time on Florida's guards. When you think about Wilmington and Frazier couldn't get a shot. Great three-point shooter, but he couldn't get a shot. They suffocated him. And that was their great defense, and that is why they won, buddy.
And Kentucky is a team of a bunch of freshmen, and Calipari really got them going at the right time in the month of March. But in that championship game on Monday night, how much did a lack of experience affect those players on the court?
Well, I don't think what hurt them. You know what hurt them very simply? John Calipari would have 2 other national titles, as I pointed out. What hurt him? The free throw line. The simplicity of a free throw. You got Connecticut going in a close game, 10 for 10 on the line, and you got a situation where Kentucky's 13, I believe, for 24. There's 11 free throws. 11 free throws. Then we go back and we trace and go back to 2011. That was the last time Calipari lost in an NCAA tournament game. He lost the semifinal game to Connecticut. Connecticut made their free throws. We know Kentucky did in that game. A 1-point game. You lose a 1-point game and you go 4 for 12. So the simplicity of the free throw has caused Kentucky possibly 2 national titles.
On the way out here with Dick Vitale from ESPN, who does a great job with the V Foundation. Let's spend a quick minute here on Temple. They had a down year this year. Fran Dunphy failed to reach the NCAA tournament after having 6 straight appearances. They're going to bring in a lot of transfers this year. Jalen Bond. They bring in a top 150 recruit in Obi. How bright of a future does Temple have in basketball?
Well, they got a big future. It's such tradition, such unbelievable history. They got an outstanding guy that knows the game. As a coach, you're going to have some down years. They lost a lot of tough games. Heartbreaking. But they lost the kid, though. Didn't he just transfer to Ohio State?
Yes, Anthony Lee. We had him in the studio last week.
But he was done with his eligibility at Temple, was he not?
No, he still had an extra year of eligibility because he got hurt. And with the whole graduate opt-out, he's able to go and transfer and not sit out a year.
Right. Yeah, I know you can go to 5th year, so he could have came back to Temple and finished the 5th year as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they'll get back. I mean, he's still going to coach Fran, and situation is you're going to have a down year here and there, and they lost so many tough games. I got to wrap up, Zach. I got to run, but it was really great talking with you. Looking forward next year. Should be another big year. I'm posting up my Super 6 for next year, and I basically go. Kentucky, the names change, but they'll be outstanding again. Great players. Duke, I got there, number 2, 3, Kansas, 4, Arizona, 5, Carolina, and 6, Wisconsin. Keep an eye also on Texas and Virginia.
Well, we appreciate a few minutes today, and once again, we're very sorry for your loss. We know cancer affects all, and we'll make sure people go to the V Foundation. Thanks for a few minutes, Dick.
Make sure they go to DickVitaleOnline.com and help donate behalf of little Eddie Livingston and Lacey Holsworth so we can help other kids through them, because no child should be doing chemo and radiation.